Welcome back to Two in the Blue. This is episode 44, and we're recording from the Energy Defender studio. I am your host, John Flounder Caruso, here with Stevie D. DeStefano and DJ Lou, editor-producer in the background, always making the magic happen. Steve, we are going to kick right into this with the flying pecker. Stevie, what is it? Stevie Science? How do you want me to say it?
Steve Science-y shit?
Steve's Sciencey shit. We're going to kick it off with some Steve's Sciencey shit. So it's the big thing, and it's the big thing in the news right now. Blue Origin, this whole thing that took off. What is your take on this? Like, I got to be honest. My first just looking at everything, I don't believe it. Like, I don't.
I've literally no idea what you're talking about.
You don't know about this?
No.
Do you, Lou?
That was like Katy Perry, right?
Wait, Katy Perry?
It was like
I heard about Katy Perry going into space.
3 or 4 celebrities or something that are known. They paid like $28 million to ride in this
each
rocket. Yeah, that looks like the the Dr. Evil spaceship that launched from the mountain in Austin Powers. And they went up high enough for zero gravity, and then it came back down. So literally, it just went up and came back down. It's like an 11-minute thing, I think.
$28 million.
$28 million. And there's a big thing going around. Like, was this even real? Like, I don't know. I don't understand. I can't really get into like all of it because the pressurization and stuff, all these capsules, you go up so high. So they were zero gravity, but they had no spacesuits. They had no helmets, like oxygen. Like it seemed, something didn't seem right. And then when they opened the door, so this thing lands, right? Poof, comes down, big parachute. And there's live on camera, Jeff Bezos and this other woman. And they roll this thing up to the door because they're all going to walk out. And before he can go in and go up to open the door with his special key, the door opens. Somebody opens it from the inside, which I would find almost be impossible, right? Like airplanes, don't they open them from the outside?
Oh.
I don't know. But either way,
I'm sure you could get them from the inside.
And the lady standing there says something like, no, you're not supposed to open it. The door closes. And then he walks up and then opens the door. And then they all start coming out, and it's like this big thing. And Oprah Winfrey was there, and it was like this. It's all over the friggin' news. It's all over social media.
I just saw Katy Perry with like a little dog.
Yeah,
in a spaceship.
Do you want to play this video?
Yeah, sure.
So Jeff Bezos unveiled a spaceship, and
Colonel, you better take a look at this radar.
What is it, son?
I don't know, sir, but it looks like a giant dick.
Yeah.
Take a look out of starboard.
Oh my God, it looks like a huge...
Pecker!
Oh, where?
Wait, that's not a woodpecker. It looks like someone's...
Privates! We have reports of an unidentified flying object. It is a long, smooth shaft, complete with 2 balls.
What is that? That looks just like an enormous...
Wang, pay attention.
I was distracted by that enormous flying...
Willie. Yeah. What's that? Well, it looks like a giant...
Johnson,
Yes, sir.
get on the horn to British intelligence and let them know about this.
Well, now you're up to date. This is something that's been going on, Jeff Bezos. And
that brought me up to date.
Yeah, no. But this is like, I don't know. I mean, this is something that I'm looking at, and there's so many questions. Like, it's a slap in the face to, like, isn't it a slap in the face to astronauts and these scientists that do this all the time? Or is this it's everything's so confusing to me. Like, people spend their entire lives to try to do something like this, and here comes a bazillionaire and just says, hey, I can make this, and I'm going to put celebrities and go up in it. Like, it's
just like discovering the Titanic, like the exploring the Titanic that imploded on those people a couple of years ago.
Right.
Just
and
a bunch of rich people.
Which makes me even more curious to why anybody would want to do that. Like, these people jumped on this thing because a billionaire made it and they died.
Let me tell you something. When I was working for a company, and I was talking about this kind of thing, like in a truck. I was in the back of the truck. I was somewhat new to the company. And my foreman was Bobby Perna. And I don't know why we were talking about space travel and the moon and stuff, but I told him, I said, dude, I guarantee you in our lifetimes, they're going to put a restaurant on the moon.
A restaurant?
Yeah. He's like, and these guys were breaking my chops so bad. They're like, you know how much money it would cost? It would cost $10 million to go up there. I said, you don't think that these rich fucks will pay $10 million to go eat a meal on the moon? Bro, we're not too far from that.
Yeah, I don't know where this was going with why he did this, what it was proving. Like, again, if you go back to where they did the capsule,
well, you would go, wouldn't you?
No, not something that was built by him, by a billionaire. No, I would go something that was built by NASA.
It wasn't Elon Musk didn't build it.
No, it was Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, but that's not like his first rocket that he ever.
I don't know. I don't know nothing about the guy.
It can't be. That couldn't have been his first rocket, right?
Who? The
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what his involvement is with the company. That company's been around.
What
Blue
company?
Origin is the company that did it. SpaceX is Elon.
Yeah, like you have all this. Now you're going to get all this. What?
I was looking to see if Lewis had a camera.
Oh,
he doesn't.
He doesn't.
No.
So you have all this, like. It's just very confusing to me. It's very confusing what this meant. Like, what is it? What was this? That's my thing. So please, if you're out there and you're listening to this and you know more about this, get in the comments and fucking educate me on what the frig this even was. Like, I can't. It's all over and I can't.
They're probably raising money.
Like but wouldn't they say that? Like, hey, we're raising money for.
Well, it's probably. I mean, like, why else would you charge people $28 million to just?
Because I'm
fly
sure
in
it
a
cost
circle.
$1 billion for that thing to even get built.
No. Well, yeah, maybe, but that's not the only trip it can take. I mean, the fuel.
That rocket's gone.
Okay.
It
You
went
think
up?
it costs $1 billion to just go up one time?
Hundreds of. I'm sure it's hundreds.
How many
of
people were on that
millions.
rocket?
4 or 5.
At $28 million apiece.
Yeah.
That's only like $130 million
I don't know.
that they got for $1 billion rocket. I don't think so.
Luke, can you look up how much it costs to launch a space rocket?
I mean, that's probably a.
I mean, it's just that'll give you a general ballpark.
Yeah, it's hard for him to
Oh,
look
sorry.
stuff up
Oh, I could have looked it up.
because
I just tens of millions to hundreds of millions, which is kind of what I was thinking. Like, it's going to be a huge range,
Right.
of stuff. But like this was PR. Like, you send Katy Perry up there and Jeff Bezos' ridiculous looking wife. Did you see her, by the way? Do you see her like coming out of the thing?
Was she like perfect?
Oh, yeah. Like, another thing that it's like, you don't look like you were just in space.
Like, and that's the other thing. Like okay, so they went up to zero gravity level. What is the G-force of that thing taking off? Like, it's not just and men and women train for this in NASA. Like
I don't think it's as fast as like a Blue Angel.
I would think it's probably faster. It's got to get in the air. It's got to get up to. So a Blue Angel at F-18 ain't going to zero gravity. There's only one. There's only one. It's like,
but going up, you don't need the
don't
need
have
the
pressure?
velocity to just go up.
So there's
As long as it just keeps going up.
There's nothing pushing you back. You get pushed back in your seat.
I'm
in an
sure
airplane.
I'm sure they were, but they must have designed the.
I mean, they're laying down, but again, this is like, I don't. To me, it's like
It sounds like bullshit.
That's what it sounds
it
like to
does.
me. That's what it does. It doesn't sound like any of this was real.
But I'm saying like it's possible that it was.
Right.
It's not impossible.
All right. Well, what say you out there? That's what I'm getting at. Like, this thing's all over the place, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to bring it up because this fucking thing is, it just confuses the shit out of me. I don't understand. I don't get the point of it. And again, you know what, too? It really, you want to harness it and say, wow, this was great. Here's a scientific breakthrough. This is a marvel. This is like, you know what I mean? You want to be supportive of that, but what is he doing over there?
He gave me the I'm breathing in the mic sign.
Oh, my God. No, it's not. It's Flounder.
So it was definitely me.
All right. Well, I guess that wasn't a great topic. So on
No. This is actually a great segue to Steve's actual sciencey shit. So remember we were talking about how they're looking for this other like life-sustaining planet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that planet that they think they found, that they think is like promising. It's 2.5 times the size of Earth. It's called K2-18b.
Mm-hmm.
It is 124 light years away, or 700 million miles. Same thing. It's 700 million miles from here. But they can see it with this James Webb telescope, which is insane that they can see that far with a telescope.
Yeah.
And this telescope is so good that they found these molecules on this planet that, if consistent with Earth, are only produced by microorganisms. Meaning that there has to be life on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And the microorganism, like to take it a step further, if it's consistent with Earth, the microorganisms from Earth are coming from the ocean that produced this gas that they found, or whatever. So they're 99.7% sure that there's life on this planet. In order to convince the scientific community, it has to be 99.99999% sure.
Okay.
And then everyone will buy in. At 99.7%, they're like, oh, well, maybe not.
Maybe not. Right.
But, I mean, they're going to know for sure if this thing has life on it in a year or two. And if it does have life on it,
mm-hmm.
then there's life all over this fucking galaxy, dude.
Probably.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And we like to, yeah. And we wonder how far along them lives are.
Yeah. And it's like, you know how long it would take us to travel 124 light years?
How long is that? I was wondering.
So if you travel on the fastest human-made vehicle, which is the Voyager 1,
mm-hmm.
it would take you 17,000 years to travel 1 light year. So it would take you like, I think it's 2.1 million years to get there.
Wow.
Yeah. But if they can create a vehicle that can go faster.
Unmanned?
No, I don't know. Manned or unmanned. If they could create a vehicle that goes.
It'd have to be manned. Unmanned, because how fast could they possibly make that go for you?
You don't know.
To physically live and even do it.
Well, so this is what happens. The closer you get to the speed of light, the shorter time gets. Okay. Just like Interstellar. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
Okay. So the faster you travel, the closer you get to the speed of light. This is all according to physics, too. This is all physics.
Okay.
The faster you get, the shorter time goes. So you can theoretically travel this 124 light years in minutes. If you create a vehicle that can excel approaching the speed of light. So it would take you minutes. You can explore the planet. You can explore other parts of the galaxy. And then you could come back at the speed of light to Earth. And it would take you a half hour, your time. But 4.2 million years would have passed on Earth. And there would be no one left to report your findings to.
It's I can't even grasp that either. Like that's amazing.
That is,
for something to be that far away, and we know there's a microorganism living on there. Like that's crazy.
Well, we don't know. We're 99.7% sure. But so because, and to that point, because the microorganisms that Earth creates this gas with are from the ocean, they're kind of thinking that there is just vast ocean on this planet because there's 1,000 times more gas on this planet compared to Earth.
Well, that was actually my next question. What does this planet look like? Like obviously they can get they see it. Is it?
They can't see if it's surface. They can't see if it's water. They can't tell if it could be molten lava. They don't know.
They don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is weird because they could see a gas, but they can't see the surface of the planet. I don't really get. I don't understand this James Webb telescope.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't that crazy that you can, theoretically, according to physics, you can get there and back in a half hour our time?
That is crazy.
For 4 million years people time.
Yeah, that is nuts. I'm wondering what that would even do to the human body or a machine for that matter.
Well, that's time travel. I mean, that is time travel.
I guess it is.
Right. So think about this now.
Oh boy.
Let's take it a step further.
Oh boy.
The pyramids.
Gigawatts.
The pyramids, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how they've been built. There's been people that theorize and they think that Like there was one guy who said, look, with the tools that they had, it would take them like hundreds of thousands of years to build these pyramids.
Yeah.
And now they're finding these monstrous structures underneath of the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
So like, who really knows how these things got built? What they are? Like what happened back then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What if, how old is the planet, Lou?
4 billion years old.
4 billion years old. That's a long fucking time. What if 4.5 million years ago, there was life, there were people,
mm-hmm.
and society was where it is right now, right where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasts, internet, electric vehicles, planes. Yeah. So technology was there 4 million years or 4.5 million years ago. Catastrophic thing happened. Maybe they built the pyramids then.
Mm-hmm.
Something catastrophic happened, wiped everything out. Then you get the dinosaurs, you get the ice age, wipes that out. There's nothing left of this civilization from 4.5 million years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But what they did do that we haven't done is they sent people to K2-18b. And one day, out of the clear blue sky, these guys return at the speed of light 4.5 million years later. And they're like, yo, what'd you guys do to the fucking place? You know what I'm saying?
And who might they be?
They would be people that lived 4.5 million years ago that were sent to explore this planet that they already found 4.5 million years ago. But since then, civilization has gotten wiped out like multiple times, and there's nothing left of it besides the pyramids and these monstrous structures underneath.
So the pyramids and the pyramids are very interesting. I do like, because if you look really into it, they're built upon based upon stars, like directions of stars, and they align. Even like what's a Stonehenge? Aren't they very much involved with the stars?
But Stonehenge is much more conceivable that people could do that.
My thing is, though, I believe.
Can you imagine that a person lands from 4.5 million years ago? When they left Earth, it was Pangea.
I believe more there was giants than there was
okay.
Somebody
Well,
time
what if
travel.
what if they're 20 feet tall and they come back and they're like, oh, hey, what the fuck, you little fucks?
Because look at today. Look at today's day and age. What's the average height of a kid nowadays? Like every kid's tall. Like every kid's 6 foot tall.
Yeah, we're growing like as a species.
That's because women bang tall people.
Oh. So
it is. So we're getting tall. It's evolution. That's how we're evolving.
Things evolve.
Yeah.
So I always say that things evolve and things come back around.
No, it has more to do with nutrition than that.
I think it's
really?
Well, yeah.
Like kids are well fed now, so like they grow to be bigger.
So what if back in the day they
tall dudes do get laid?
Short guys get laid. Don't worry, you're right. You got 3 kids.
I'm married, dude. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
You're gonna have 3 little short kids.
Yeah, you got 3 little short kids. Yeah, you go. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting, and it's a rabbit hole you can dive into for years. And
I dived in this week.
Like this is like, because you're right. Where did this stuff come from? How was it built? So sophisticatedly built too. Like it is amazing, and that they go down and then they go down further.
Yeah, it's like a real world civilization built it.
Yeah, the Egyptians. Yeah, but
it might. What if it wasn't the Egyptians?
Maybe it wasn't.
What if it was the civilization that existed 4 million years before the Egyptians?
Well, I wonder what that civilization.
And they just used it. They're like, oh, let's post up here.
Like, I wonder what that looked like too, because I mean, things were written on the wall. So if it was people from 4.5 million years ago that had the technology we have today, I think.
Yeah, but the Egyptians could have just inhabited it and wrote shit on the wall.
That could be too. Yeah, I mean, it's a theory.
What do you think, Lo? You got to chime in here. I thought you'd be so impressed with this theory.
No, I'm loving it.
I connected all these dots myself.
You're handling all the science yourself.
Yeah.
No,
what do you think about the guys that are going to come here in a couple days and tell us about the fucking K2B12?
Wait, what do you mean? Oh, the alien guys are going to come back?
Not aliens, because they're from Earth, but they're just from 4 million years ago.
Would they be considered aliens?
No.
No?
They're from Earth.
I mean, I like the idea that there used to be a civilization. I think if you were to send anybody there, they'd probably just have to stay there. Like they would be sent with like the intent of probably like colonization.
All right. Well, imagine. Okay, so say
or terraforming.
Imagine this civilization we're hypothetically talking about was started 8 billion years ago, and it went all the way up until 4 million years ago. So they had all of these billions of years to advance themselves technology-wise. So they would be way ahead of us. Right
I can
now.
buy that.
Like they would be way ahead of us. And they could probably figure out how to build like a spaceship out of like that you know, like the gravity spaceships that they talk about? Like
like the Bob Lazar stuff.
The Bob Lazar stuff. Like they probably would have figured out a way to like gravity and magnetically propel these things to go the speed of light and just travel to different galaxies. And these guys are just there. And then like in the meantime, while they're there like, oh, look, this K-12 is fucking sweet, dude. You know, look at all this, look at all these microorganisms producing this gas. Just like Earth. Cool. Let's go tell everyone about it. We can live here. Let's get in the fucking thing and go home. So then they come home. Meanwhile, 5 million years passes, and here we are today. And they're like, what's the matter with you people? Like, what are you doing?
They're Italian.
What are you guys doing? Yeah, they are. They're definitely Italian.
They're definitely Italian.
Yeah, I think it's so cool to think about.
I can buy the theory that there may have been a well advanced civilization that got wiped out. Maybe several.
Yeah.
Maybe there might have been within billions of years, but this process may have been done already several times.
Well, Steve, have you seen that one Rogan guy that like always talks about like Atlantis, the Younger Dryas thing? No, you haven't seen that? That like in like northwestern Africa, they're like it's like a desert now, but like it used to not be. And like I think it was like Aristotle had like notes that said there was like a city there, like underwater, like in the water kind of. And there's like the dude's got like GPS images and stuff that show like what could have been that thing. But
it's awesome to think about,
like
dude. That's awesome.
I like
this gets into then this goes to like the multiverse.
Interstellar,
right? Like it kind of
the multiverse
leads there. And I figured out a really cool way to explain it.
Okay. Yes.
So it's 1950.
We're
in your living room.
All right. I'm watching TaaB TV.
How many radios you got in the living room?
One.
One radio in the
There's
living
one
room.
in the house.
How many frequencies are in that living room for the radio?
AM and FM.
No, there's thousands.
Oh.
Thousands of frequencies. But how many can you hear at once?
One.
Because you can only tune into the one frequency. On Earth, according to quantum physics, we have these electrons that would act as like the frequency. And there's an infinite amount of electrons that are governed by quantum physics. And we are tuned into one frequency of electrons. So theoretically, all these other electrons that exist around us could be all different dimensions that we just cannot tap our consciousness into.
Okay. Or different ways of communication that we're not able to do.
Well, it could be that.
Which brings to like telepathy that we've talked about.
Yeah, we've talked about the hill.
Yeah.
Telepathy. Yeah.
Telepathy, like animals, which we'll get into.
Right, and it is conceivable that people can tap into that frequency and communicate. That two people can tap into another frequency.
Because you see people that are median, like these people that are like mind readers or medians and stuff like that. Maybe there is something to that they tap into another frequency level that they are able to communicate with dead, with ghosts, with
it could be.
I mean, it's
crazy to think about.
That's an interesting, but you see how that actually makes sense. Then when you start doing it, it makes sense, and then that's what really makes it like fascinating. Like when it doesn't make sense to me, I'm like, what the fuck? But that's pretty fucking. Like,
I thought you would like the radio analogy.
Yes, yeah, I do like the radio analogy. Yeah, I really do.
Should we talk about construction at any point tonight?
Probably not. I did have something on construction, didn't I?
Fuck construction. I don't know, whatever.
I did. I did have a construction thing. What was it I sent you earlier?
Oh, the elephants.
No. No, something about New Jersey.
Oh, whoa. So ChatGPT, according to ChatGPT, there's a 5% increase in work for the upcoming 2025 year than there was in 2024. But when we went to the union meeting, they were discussing how the current administration had wiped out the infrastructure bills for New Jersey and we're losing $300 million in funding from the administration. They're also stopping the bridge maintenance that needs to be done in New Jersey. These are oldest bridges in the country.
Yeah, they pulled
and they pulled all the maintenance money from that, and all the lead pipes with water in them traveling into our sinks that were going to be replaced. That they canceled that also.
Yeah.
which is a ton of work in
work.
this state that is not going to be performed as a result of the current administration.
Right.
But according to ChatGPT, we have 5% more work than we did
Was this
last year.
ChatGPT? I got this off of, this is all Construction New Jersey Current News. So New
Oh, I
Jersey,
thought you sent a screenshot of like a ChatGPT.
it says AI
conversation.
overview. It's an overview. It's, it's a caption of what the AI did. But New Jersey experienced a surge in construction and infrastructure spending with projects estimating over $57.6 billion over the next 2 years.
I think I figured out a way to. I think I figured out why. What the discrepancy is.
Here, what they discussed at the hall and this and everything. So again, we had this surge of work. Federal funding got pulled. So they'll go to the state and see how much of that can be recuperated to then continue these jobs or start these jobs. I do believe that the federal funding for infrastructure is going to come back.
I think it will too.
I don't know how much, but I believe it will, and everything's going to pick up, and we're all going to go back.
Well, he's got a house in New Jersey. He's got to want these bridges and the fucking lead pipes to be replaced.
Of course. I mean, but this is, that's infrastructure. It's not just Jersey. Right. It's all over. So, yeah, I believe that we talked about the turnpike job. We talked about all these overpasses, these bridges, 76 something bridges or something like that. That got
30 or 50
or something like that. That got put on hold or something because of this. But
they got put on hold because of this.
Yeah, that was part of it. That was these overpasses. There was like
so they can't do the turnpike now.
They were like 70 something overpasses plus. Yeah, I don't know if that's part of that project, but all over Jersey there was like another 70 overpasses.
I think they pulled the maintenance of it. Like I think the turnpike is a private entity.
Yes.
They're not getting federal funding.
Probably not.
For that. Yeah. So I think the turnpike is probably still
state,
on.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I have no idea.
What it probably means is if projects are started, they're going to continue. If projects have not started or were due to start, they're tabled. That's kind of what I got from it.
Just the federally funded ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's state funded, private money, it's not.
But
touched.
the AI overview that you were reading, I think that the discrepancy is that the AI overview is referring to just state projects funded by the state of New Jersey.
Yes.
And I can believe that there is 5% more this year than there was last year. But if you remove the federal, it's not like the whole picture. It's not the county, the state, the federal, the municipalities.
Right.
It's just the state. Just the state, there's 5% more.
Right.
But when you add in the federal, which if they pulled that between this and last year, then there's going to be much less.
Right.
Much less money allocated to infrastructure.
Correct. All right, what is our construction news for
There's
this?
a little bit. Yeah, there's a little bit of
You guys
construction
have
news.
an hour of construction. I mean, listen, if you've been tuning in, which, judging by our followers, you are, we talk about everything.
Let's talk about 206.
Okay. What about it? What part?
The part where it goes from one lane to two. The part where
everything?
You're driving behind someone going 45.
206 the worst road ever.
I disagree.
One of them.
Yeah, one of them. We did have a poll.
Mm-hmm.
It was third on the list. Just saying. But you'll be driving behind someone going 45 miles an hour. You get to two lanes, and then they just hammer it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it goes back to one lane, they just go right back.
45.
Can you explain this phenomenon?
Yeah, it's called people are idiots. Like it's the same. It's the same thing when a person's going slow and you go to pass them. Now all of a sudden they want to fucking speed up and not let you pass. Because
is it a pride thing with the drivers? Like, you can't pass me, or do you think it's that they feel more comfortable going faster because there's more lanes of travel?
I don't know. I just think they're assholes.
It's an asshole move when you're driving. When you're trying to pass someone that you know is going to go 45 miles an hour.
I'm going to try to pass you now when it's like when I can. So
you know what else they do is if you could be 300 feet from the merge, 500 feet from the merge,
mm-hmm.
and you got people that they'll straddle the center line so that you can't pass them on either side. You do that.
I am, especially if I'm in a truck.
Yeah, but if they're going slow. No, I get it. I get it. If you're in a truck, you can't stop.
My theory of that is learn how to fucking merge. That's why when there's a merger, there's such a pileup because everybody wants to just all of a sudden just want to go as fast as they can to that point instead of just when you see it coming, just getting a single. This is no bullshit. We were traveling down to North Carolina. We drove down to Myrtle Beach. In one of the parts of North Carolina, this was coming up. When I tell you they got in a single file line for a mile. Like, as they started seeing the signs, people were getting over into the right
Carolina?
lane. I swear.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
What are they doing?
And as a Jersey driver, I'm like, yo, I got a fucking mile to go.
They ain't got nowhere to go in Carolina.
I got a mile to go.
They're retired. They don't give a fuck.
And my wife's like, look at what you're doing. I'm like, yeah. I said, they could do it too. It's not illegal. But And I just think it's so densely populated.
You were the Jersey driver, just fucking hammering.
Ain't right. I was waiting for my bitch that wasn't paying attention right in there.
I do that in Philly
all the time. But I think it works so densely populated up here that everybody's in a fucking rush. Where down there, you're right. They're so laid back. They don't give a
They don't
fuck.
care at all.
They don't. They're just happy the roads are getting done.
Yeah.
Here, the roads are getting done. They hate it, and then when the roads are done, they bitch about the next road.
I wonder if they did anything to like educate the public on stuff like that like resonated.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's strange for like all of traffic to coordinate and merge when they know, because you probably got through it way faster than in New Jersey.
Right. Because
it's a single line and you're just going.
Moving.
Yeah.
You're not constantly doing the
stop,
accordion.
go.
The accordion.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Harris used to fucking drive a van, and we're in an accordion. He was a scream. But yeah, I mean I think it's because we're densely populated and everything around here is, and you're in a rush. And for what?
Yeah.
Where are you going? Wake up earlier.
Yeah. The only time like when I'm on my way home is when if I'm driving to work, dude, I don't give a shit, dude. You can drive as slow as you want in front of me, and it's your fault I'm late. And I'm happy with that excuse. But when I'm on my way home, I'm like, get the fuck out of my way. I'm getting home.
And you know what? I'm going to label that, this whole merging thing, I'm going to label that as my dumb things of the week. Do you have another one?
Yeah, I have a dumb thing of the week.
Let's hear it.
So we started this Burlington County road program.
It's like you got mad at me. Yeah, I got a dumb thing of the week.
We have a Burlington County. We started the Burlington County road program.
Yes.
It's a $12 million overlay.
Shout out Randy
for
Brillo.
all the different municipalities in Burlington County. Shout out Randy Brillo. They have a rule that you can't mill and pave the same day on the same road.
Okay.
So instead of milling with a paver 300 feet behind it and just running it, like a train,
mm-hmm.
and then when you're done, you're done. You have to mill one day. Next day you come back and you pave.
Mm.
And all it does is make
more of a mess.
No, it just takes more time.
Right, because if you're milling, then you're going to spend an entire day milling, which means there's going to be a shitload
But you're going
of
to
road.
anyway. You're
right.
Like the mill. It doesn't affect the mill at all. Like the mill's going to get what it can get.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
They just don't drop the paver.
But instead of that same day, now you have a brand new road. Now you have to drive over a milled surface for a night, come back the next day, set up all the traffic again, bring the paving crew in, pave it, and then wrap it up, and then go to the next lane.
I guess there's a theory behind it that why they want to do it that way.
I don't get it. I don't get the theory. I think so. It doesn't make sense, but because it's written in the contract, now it's like you can't talk them into it because it's like, well, what about all these other people that bid on the job that they bid it according to like knowing that this was the case. And it's not like okay, so if you bring in two crews on one day, you bring in a milling crew and a paving crew on one day to mill and pave 1,800 tons, you're spending the same amount of money as if you did it in 2 days anyway. The only person who makes more money is me,
right?
Because I'm the safety guy and I got to be there for all days,
right?
But like the paving guys don't make any more money,
Well,
so it's kind of like not that bad,
because
but
this
it's
is the
still like
problem.
one of them things where it's like, well, it's a rule, so we can't do it.
Right. Well, this is the problem that we run into all the time in construction, where these things get designed, they get planned, and then when you go out and they get planned behind a computer or on Google Earth, instead of going out there and looking and seeing and knowing, or they never ever take into consideration unforeseen circumstances. It happens all the time, right? But we know the best way to get it done. We do. And they think they know better. Well, then when the project's not done right away, then they want to know why. You're like, because you assholes want us to do it this way.
It's got to drive like the owner of a company nuts to do that, though. To drive
Sure.
all the way, to drive 40 minutes empty. You know what I mean? Like if you were milling and paving the same day, you come in empty, you hook up to the mill loads you up. You take it back to the yard. You come back with grab a load of asphalt. Right. You come back, and you're never empty.
No.
So everywhere you're going, you're making money for the company.
Right.
In this case, now you got to find like stockpile yards.
Mm-hmm.
Just you know, and
then later on, you had to clean up that whole stockpile yard.
Well, you could do that. Like you could have a loader operator there, and then when you're paving, these trucks can
get loaded.
Once they get empty, then they go to the stockpile yard. You got a loader there, but then you got to pay a loader operator. You got to pay for the transportation for the loader. You got to pay for the fuel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it does work out kind of. And when you're milling, you don't need as many trucks. Like you can just mill with 10 trucks instead of 30 trucks.
Right.
Because you're only going maybe a mile down the road instead of 30 miles down the road. So I guess it kind of does balance out, but it's a dumb thing of the week because I just don't understand they can't explain why. It's just because.
It's just because, right.
Yeah.
And when they can't explain why, it's because somebody just came up with the idea and said, no, this is just the greatest idea, and that's how we're going to do it.
It's probably, you know why it probably is because they probably fucked up a subgrade at some point. They probably were on a project like this. Someone came in, they milled, they paved. The sub base was screwed up. Like they went down to dirt after a 2-inch mill, and they just paved right over top of it. And then they got all these like potholes and joint.
Is this a resurfacing project though?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the other thing. When it's resurfacing, you're only what, 2 up, 2 down?
Yeah.
So there's no need for
I know, but they probably put it into place on like a 4-inch, like something that was like a 4-inch where they had to like change the grades and the elevations and stuff. And they ended up.
I would be telling them every day. I'd be telling them every day. This is taking longer. Just so you know, it's taking longer.
They don't care. I mean, they allocated the days for it. They planned for it. So they're ready for it.
Right.
And like really, like once you get rolling, you could have the mill go to another one of these jobs down the street, and they can mill that road, and then you could pave this road.
Now,
and then
can
they
it
come
sit,
back and
can
switch.
it sit for several days, or it has to be just the one day?
It can't sit overnight. It can't. I'm sorry, it can't sit over the weekend.
Okay.
So it can sit for. But you don't even have to do that. Like if you have a job that's a mile apart, you get the low boy to. Well, I mean that's a lot of money in transportation to get this thing just a mile down the road, just to keep switching it every single day. But if you do have a job that's somewhat similar to the job you're on, you bring it a mile down the road, you set the mill down, and you go on this road while you pave this road. The next day, the mill comes back here, the paver goes here, and you just keep alternating.
Going, right.
And then that's how you mill and pave in the same day.
Yeah,
and then you could use the same trucks.
So the first day is just going to be milling, and then the next day you're going to mill and pave that one, and then you just keep going down. Right, you keep going along, going along. So
but it doesn't work like that in all because we're doing like almost every municipality in Burlington County,
right?
Which is a monstrosity of a county.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's one safety guy. Well, I guess they could bring another one on.
You know any?
Yeah. Hey.
So yeah, how about a little break for sponsors? Are we good or no?
That was a logistics.
That was
a logistics fucking education for anyone listening.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just schooled you, motherfuckers.
Yeah, you did. That was actually good. Science and that.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Alpha
dude.
brain, dude.
Bro,
we gotta get
I'm
Alpha
not on
brain.
it, but he is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Alpha brain.
Hard, dude.
You are going to turn into Joe Rogan.
It's a what's the thing
It's
called
not a
when
bad thing.
where you put it up your butt?
Okay, and we're going to go to our sponsors.
The rocket. It goes back to the rocket.
Oh.
We came full circle.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, can we talk about this? You're doing the Alpha Brain stuff?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it. What is it like?
So I talked to Kyle Myers about it before I started because it's $125 a bottle, but it lasts 90 days.
Okay.
And it's I said, what do you think? He said there's a bunch of good shit in it. It's all good for you, but the results are all objective. So it could be like a total placebo. I have no idea. I could just be like,
but it does feel better.
I feel like my recall is better. I feel like I can talk more fluently. I don't feel like as foggy.
When did you start doing it?
Maybe a month ago.
You should go back and like compare the tape from the podcast.
You would see a big
quicker.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I was like a groggy. Dude. I'm so busy. I'm so fucking busy, dude. I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning every day. I go to the gym. Sometimes, I mean, most of the time I don't work out. I just go to the sauna and just talk. Right, and then
you came in the gym the other day. Listen, he came in the gym the other day. He looked like a homeless person. He had this dirty sweatshirt. I'm like, what are you?
my work shirt.
I'm like, what are you wearing? I'm like, you look like you just like rolled in the dirt and then just washed your hands and that was it and came to the gym.
Sometimes I have to do that. Sometimes I have to literally just roll out of bed. I don't even drink a coffee. I'm just like, ugh. pack my lunch, and go.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Then I go to work all day. I get home at like 4:30. Most of the time, I have baseball or practice, or I play with the kids for a while.
Sure.
Eat dinner. Then we got to like put all the kids to bed. This one's sick. That one's sick. This one's doing that. We got to meet. We got the podcast. We got this. And then like by the time I sit down, dude, it's like 8:30.
Yeah.
Michelle's sleeping, and I'm just like, what happened?
Well, that's a good point.
I wake up and I go back to work.
That's a good chance to rub out.
Rub out,
Yeah.
like masturbate.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Why not? She's sleeping.
right there.
Kids are sleeping. It's great. It's quiet.
It's right on the couch,
Oh, she's right there.
like right next to me.
Well, then if she's sleeping though, it could be like
She's a late sleeper.
Uh,
It'd be weird.
if you were. She's like,
Considered it.
What did she woke? What did you did? As she woke up, she's like, "What are you doing?"
That's exactly how the conversation would go.
She's like, "What are you doing?"
What are you doing?
Like, I had an opportunity.
Ah.
I felt
I'm
like
tired.
When in room.
With alpha brain.
I don't know. Alpha brain. All right,
Wait.
Oh, whoa.
What's it called when you put the pill up your ass? Suppository?
Jesus.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
suppository.
It's a suppository.
It's a suppository. What? Alpha brain is?
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Oh yeah, it comes with the funnel and everything.
No, it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Alpha brain is not a suppository. No.
That's what I was trying to get at to begin with, though, and then it started the whole chain of events. That
my
happened after
God.
that, Yeah. Okay.
Sponsors.
What do you? Dumb thing.
Sponsors. Where are you
sponsors.
at? Sponsors. How you been?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna start with my personal favorite, Helmets to Hardhats. Helmets to Hardhats is collaborating with us, and they are a gateway to get into union construction trades. If you're a veteran coming out and you are interested in getting your hands dirty and getting into a good career in the union trades, contact Helmets to Hardhats. They're gonna put you at the top of the list.
I didn't know it,
Yeah.
but I work with a guy who used the Helmets to Hardhats program, and I
Fucking fan.
just talked to him like 3 days ago about it.
Awesome. And my nephew used it.
He's a journeyman now, but he came in through Helmets to Hardhats. He said, dude, it changed his life. He's like, dude, I was in the military. Then he was working at like Burger King. He was doing this, doing that. And they said, we're going to get you placed. Don't worry about it. And they came calling, and he went into the apprentice. He was like working and taking the classes that they require to get into the apprenticeship program and all that stuff. He was doing it like day, night for like weeks.
Wow.
And then when they finally called him at the company he's at now, he's been there the whole time, 6-7 years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
It's
fantastic.
really cool. I was so excited to hear him say that. I was like, dude, they're like sponsor us. It's awesome.
Yes,
dude.
and
Yeah.
Helmets to Hardhats. See, it
Yeah,
works.
it
So
does.
Get
Yeah.
out there. Who do you have? Let's be frank.
Let's be frank. For any of your Bloody Mary and espresso martini needs, and they're coming out with the limoncello martini.
Whoa.
Limoncello espresso martini.
That's the summertime.
Yeah, he's going to keep innovating. He's going to keep getting it. You got to get, like, if you have not tried it, if you haven't watched this, if you haven't watched me talk about this and ordered yourself some, like, you got to get
out
should.
there. Yeah.
It's so good.
It is
Just
good.
try it.
The Bloody
Put it
Mary.
in the it's so good. I swear to God. I swear to God, it's so good.
Yeah, we're not just
Yeah.
saying it because they're sponsors. It's, Yes, they are great.
Yeah, Dave Birnbaum,
Buy with Burn.
best in the business. Buy with Burn. He's my realtor personally. He helped my parents. He helped my sister. He helped my friends. When my grandfather passed away, he helped sell his house. That was, God knows, it was probably impossible to sell. But man, like any of your selling, buying needs, especially now, we've talked about it before. It's an insane market.
It is.
He can get you into a house. He
You know
will
what's
help
good?
you.
You know what's
Yeah.
good with Buy with Burn? Dave Birnbaum also has them interconnections. So if you're like looking to come to Hamilton, Hamilton's becoming a very destination spot to come to. Houses are in there. A lot of times they're not listed. Dave Birnbaum might have them in his back pocket. So he has all the networking and everything you need. So go ahead, contact Buy with Burn.
Yeah, give him a call.
Remax Community.
Yep.
So there was an earthquake in San Diego, and I called my kid. I'm like, yo, bud, there was a fucking earthquake. I said, because I'm finding out through elephants on the internet about this earthquake. It was a 5.2. My son said it sounded like the guys upstairs on the second deck were just running around. He goes, then we found out it was an earthquake. But what was very interesting is at the San Diego Zoo, these elephants watched their natural reaction to this earthquake. You can see the camera shaking. There's the earthquake. It's called an alert circle. They all face. You see that? and surround the younger member of the crew, and then the herd went right back to its normal thing once the earthquake was done. This brings us back to that telepathy. How do you say it, please? Telepathy. Okay. I know. Telepathy, right? So I firmly believe that that's how animals communicate. It's through that. They talk through their minds. My bulldog is blind as a bat, but he'll bark at certain times, and I swear it's because Duke is like, yo, I see them in the house. Like, they're on the deck. Yo, I see them. Start barking. Get their attention. And all of a sudden, he'll bark. Because my bulldog can't hear or see. But you don't hear him like you're upstairs. You don't hear him. You go downstairs. Once you go past the window and you see Duke looking, it's almost like, yo, they're here. Go start barking and let us in. And it's so strange. And that's exactly what these elephants did. Their instinct, I think they talk to each other like, yo, here's earthquakes, surround the young one. That was amazing. I think animals are awesome.
That is amazing. And you know what's even more amazing is that they're in captivity. And a lot of these were probably born in captivity.
Right.
So like they still have that like natural instinct to do this.
Nature over nurture. Nature always wins.
Yeah, that's crazy that they're I mean, like with these animals, they must have something more to them than we do. Like they have to.
They're more in tune with everything because think about it, that their senses are all in tune with. They don't worry about fucking transgenders and you can't use the bathroom, and they don't worry about taxes or the utility bills going up. They're so in tune with their surroundings, earth, the weather, nature. That's their way of talking. That's their communication. I think that's why they're so, all the animals are. They don't worry. What's their other worries? Their other worries is just eating, sleeping,
not dying.
Yeah,
and protecting their territory.
Right.
Yeah.
So you'd probably be pretty good at it too if there were only 4 things you had to worry about.
Those are like 4 kind of scary things.
They're major things.
They're
Very
scary.
Scary.
Takes up a big part of the day.
Right, because the animals can't go to the grocery store.
We got time for that shit.
They can't go to the grocery store, right?
No.
Right, so
they got time for that shit.
No.
They're like, no, what do you want to do?
There was a video I watched of a mountain lion. Now these cameras were set up watching this mountain lion coming across the desert, across the road. This thing walked right up just like this, walked right up between the cameras, but was so locked in on something across the street in the field that it was just and then looked at the cameras and just kept going, boom, boom, and then all of a sudden it saw what it saw and it got into its like attack mode and was like, that's locked in. How about when people hit hawks? You know when a hawk locks in and all of a sudden it comes flying? I've hit one. They come flying across the road and you hit it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's because they're so zeroed in on that's their prey. They're going to eat.
Well, this actually goes back to the conversation we were having last week about how, like, your senses, like when you deplete yourself of a sense, your other senses kind of
kick in.
They get more resources from the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So it does make sense.
The brain is so fucking amazing. Like you can, when people say you can create your own happiness and create your own sadness, it's very true because you can create that with your brain. You can take pain. There's books that people have read, they swear by, that takes pain away by reading the book and teaches them like why things are connected and what they could do, breathing out, and it relieves back pain and head problems and migraines.
Stress is such a big thing, man.
When I went and had an upper and lower endoscopy, it was because and I didn't know what was going on. This is a couple years ago when I was losing. I wouldn't eat. I had a lump in my throat. I thought something was wrong. They went in. They said, "John, you're clear." Both ends. And I said, you didn't use the same tube, right? So
they went right into one, right out the other.
They come right out, and then they came right out. So he's like, no, he says, you're stressed. You go, you got a lot going on. I said, yeah, and I was like literally breaking down, and I did because my brain was just scattered. It wasn't organized. It wasn't functioning on like it should. And all of a sudden, you just start going haywire. You get sick. You don't eat. Yeah.
Dr. Amy Janke, she'll be her episode will air the first Sunday in May.
Mental health.
She's the head of psychology for Rowan University.
I love it.
Yeah, I can't wait. I have so much. Like, we've been on this science kick, but like once I start to like review all the psychology stuff we've talked about, I'm going to be
mental health is a huge. I'm a huge advocate for about especially veterans with better health, mental health, getting help.
Yeah.
And then we had a couple of veterans in the sound bath tonight. That's the guys with PTSD. They're like, this helps. Yeah. So, and that's the thing. There's different strokes for different folks, right? You know what I mean? Some people use the holistic, some people use medicine, some people use both. Mix and match. It's whatever works for you. Like, really, because what works for Stevie D ain't going to work for Big Lou over there, and ain't going to work for me. So you got to mix and match. You got to find your happy medium, and once it does, just go with it.
Balance, baby.
Like that's what I think. With like these guys like Joe Rogan and everything, they seem like they have all their shit together. It's because it's not that they have their shit together. It's because they're in a comfortable zone, a comfortable spot within their mind and their body. They're there. They're within themselves. They're just comfortable, and that's the way people should live.
Well, if you eliminate financial stress, I imagine it leaves a lot of room for some other shit.
But you don't have to be rich to be happy. You don't have to have financial. I mean, So my definition of success is being able to do whatever you want to do within your means. Right, so I'm able to do what I want to do within my means. I can't build. Would I like to build rockets? Sure, I like to fucking build rockets, but I can't.
Bukowski does.
Yeah, he does, and that's his comfort zone. And he seems happy doing it.
He sure does.
Yeah. So I mean, God bless him. Keep doing it. And then but for me, it's other things. It's for me, it's helping. I like helping people. That's a stress reliever for me. I like doing that. It's whatever works for you. And yes, money would create. But they also say that with more money comes more problems. And more money, more problems. But it's the truth. Yeah. It is the truth. You get people are after you. You get all the friends in your life. And then when
it goes back to balance. It just goes back.
You
got to
bet. You have to be. Right. I've seen people out there that are millionaires that dress regularly, and you wouldn't even know they were millionaires because they're
like Jeffrey Epstein.
No, that's a scumbag.
Yeah,
he's a.
He dressed regularly.
Yeah. He dressed regular like a bum.
I forgot, dude. I'm sorry to interrupt.
But no, he wasn't. Yeah. But you look at him.
No,
that's not happy. You think that fucking guy was happy?
No, he was.
He was sick, and he knew. But in his mind, his brain was trying to tell him, "Dude, you're a fucked up guy," and he just kept feeding that fucking beast. That's all he kept doing because that was made him satisfied. But if he
was filling a void. Yeah,
he was filling. Yeah, whatever void that
way
was.
Imbalanced.
Oh, way imbalanced.
Do we got time for a quick show recap?
I guess so. Yeah, sure.
I want to talk about Black Mirror. Do you watch this show?
Black Mirror?
I should have brought this up when we were talking about science. I totally forgot.
Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
It's just a show, and it's kind of like every episode. You don't have to watch it. There's no like storylines. Every episode is its own thing, and it's gotten so big that like big good actors are like in all these episodes now. Like they're not. There's no like recurring characters out.
Right.
But season 7, I think episode. Do you watch though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the whole season.
Give me
seen a few.
Everything. It's all different stuff, but they're all like analogies for real world stuff. Okay. So in the first episode of this season, this woman has this brain thing happen. She has like a mass on her brain that can't operate. She falls into a coma. She's gonna stay there. But they're like, and then like in comes this like white knight who is has this like experimental study that they're doing, but it's not experimental because they've done it and they've done it on people. In fact, the person selling this product, they did it to her. It's a thing where they go in your brain, they remove whatever's wrong, like a mass or a tumor or an aneurysm or whatever. They take that part out, they copy it digitally into a computer. So if anything happens to this part, they still have a copy of it. They could, recreate it, put it back in your head. But it stays in the computer. They replace it with this thing that connects to your brain that's in the computer, right? So operation's free, but now you're like a walking telephone. You need Wi-Fi, right? So that they can...
Oh, okay.
Like they can kind of control your brain with this thing. So this woman comes out of this coma, like everything's fine, everything's good, perfect. She's living her life, but she has to sleep a little bit extra. They can't leave the state because there's no Wi-Fi connection outside of the state. They'd have to go to a state that had the Wi-Fi connection. Mm-hmm. But all in the meantime, while she's living her life, now they're building this infrastructure. They're starting to get more people, more and more people. But the more people that come in, the more bandwidth they need. So now she needs to sleep a little bit longer, right? So now she's sleeping. She's going from 10 hours a night to 12 hours a night. And she's not getting great sleep either because she's in sleep mode. She's not sleeping.
Right.
So they leave the county, which they're typically allowed to do because it's within a service. But when they leave when they cross the county line, she like turns off. So they have to turn around. They come back in the county. She turns back on. They're like, "What the hell happened?" Right? They go to this. They're like, "Oh, well, if you want to leave the county now you need to just upgrade to the the deluxe membership, right? It's only
It's like AAA.
It's only an extra $1,000 a month, right?
Right.
They're like, what the hell? Like we can't even afford it as it is. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Well, just hang out in your county then. You're fine. You're fine. Like everything will stay the same. Just hang out in your county, right? So she's like drinking coffee with her husband one morning, and all of a sudden she's like, something like, have you tried Folgers Rich Blend? It is a creamy, delicious blend. Blah, blah, blah. She's starting to do like ads now. Now they're like implanting these ads in her. And it's getting so out of control, like she can't even go to work anymore because like her ads just keep going and going, right? So they're like, what the? And they're like, well, just upgrade to the deluxe, right? So now she upgrades to the deluxe. And now more and more people are in the deluxe because everyone's trying to escape the ad. So now the deluxe is like, all this bandwidth is like going in the deluxe. So now they want them to like, now you got to upgrade to the luxury section, to the luxury setting.
Right.
And they're like, oh, we definitely don't have enough money for that, but they, you can do like a 12 hours of luxury section or 1 hour. And there's an app now. So you can control your emotions now. So you can like turn pleasure all the way up. Yeah.
Jesus.
So she turns like pleasure all the way up and she's like banging her husband and like, oh my God. And he's like, this is fucking weird. You know what I mean? Like, and then, he ends up just killing her. Yeah.
So is this like a sci-fi type thing?
Kind of, but it's like it's kind of like a representation of like getting sucked into like technology, and now they have you and they own you.
Yeah,
and there's no escape.
Right, I got you.
Yeah. And on that note,
on that note,
how's your dad?
Oh, Dad is doing better. They still got to do the AFib. They got to play with the AFib, and they got to send him for some sleep apnea test, which he knows he has. But yeah, he is home. Good. He's doing better. Yeah, so. Good. Thank you guys for thinking of him. Thank you for asking. Yep. That's going to wrap it up for episode 43 of Two in a Blue. We are always recording from the Energy Defender Studios. Call Energy Defenders for all your solar and roofing needs. I'm John Flounder. This is Stevie D. Big Lou in the background. Like, follow, subscribe, get in the comments. What do you think? What do you don't think? Do you like us? Do you not like us? Go fuck yourself. Dad, what do you think?
I think there's something wrong with you.